guys, it's Misty with Autumn Miss Boutique. I am coming today. I know I haven't posted very much in the last week and a half. My husband came home last Friday, so he's been home. He came home with a Midline IV. We are giving him antibiotics twice a day for about an hour each time. We were supposed to go today, and hopefully he was better and get him off of it. However, his white blood cell count has actually increased significantly since he was in the hospital last week, even though he's been on continuous IV antibiotics for, I don't know, about two and a half weeks now. We're talking about some pretty hefty, strong antibiotics, and he's still running low-grade temps every day. He is still not really able to do a lot of things. So we do have a few answers. I'm sorry, I'm looking off. I'm thinking. I apologize. I'll try to look at the camera. So we do have a few answers. They're not really great, but you know, they're pretty much what we expected. So when we left the hospital, we were pretty hopeful. We had some bad news, some good news, and some bad news, good news, bad news, good news, something like that. It was very much a roller coaster the day before we left. After his procedure, which I was very worried about because of all the risks, everything went fine. They did not find any cancer on the good side of his lungs, which is great. So his right lower lobe on this side is the one that is affected. They checked and biopsied lymph nodes as well as different parts of his lung on that side. Did not find any cancer cells there. However, they did test the cancer in the other side, and it is non-small cell lung cancer. Squamous cell, I think is what they called it. So there is a significant size lesion there, like 11 by 14 inches. So that's huge. That they are pretty sure is cancerous as well. I don't think they biopsied that. He did find the mass that they had found previously, which was larger and nastier looking than the first time. They showed me pictures both times. They biopsied it. It did have bleeding, so they then went back and cauterized it, meaning they just burned it so that it would stop bleeding. That doesn't get rid of it. My husband, when I told him, he's like, "Oh, good, that means it's gone." And I'm like, "No, that's not really how that works." They did cauterize it so that it would, stop bleeding. They also did a referral to a surgeon who looked at my husband's stuff. That told us that if he does chemo and it shrinks the size of the tumor, then it should be at that point operable. However, when we talked to the oncologist yesterday, she said it is currently not operable. So his only options right now are to do chemo, radiation, or immunotherapy. So there's a couple things we're waiting on. We're waiting on him to be off antibiotics so they can do a PET scan. The PET scan will tell them if this cancer has spread. Right now, it is stage 3. If they do the PET scan and it is spread anywhere, it will increase to stage 4. And stage 4 is 100% terminal. There is no getting rid of it at that point. Right now, they are saying stage 3 because it appears like it is contained within the lungs. But again, that may not be the case. We're waiting. We're also still waiting on the specific results from the biopsy that will tell us what kind of chemo or immunotherapy would be successful. And that was going to take 3 weeks, so it's only been a week since they did it, so we're waiting a couple more weeks for that. In the meantime, he currently has a midline catheter in his left arm. It's kind of underneath his arm that we put his IV antibiotics and stuff in twice a day. What they want to do is do a surgical implanting of a port, which is what they use for chemo. A port, if you've never seen one, it goes under the skin, usually underneath the clavicle bone on either side. I've seen them put them on either side. It just really depends. It's usually like right in this area. Basically what it is a way for them to put medicine in and take blood without having to look for a vein every single time. Now the downside, it basically goes straight into the heart. So people on like TPN and things like that, life-saving fluids and stuff, that's how they get theirs. It's also for people that have chemo, because repeatedly going in and having them find your veins and things like that are difficult. Plus, when they are doing chemo, you're less likely to eat, you're dehydrated, there's so many side effects from it. So it's just better to do it that way. So she was the oncologist that we were able to get, was one that we spoke with when he was at the hospital close to our home. So he was able to speak with her again. She contacted the big hospital that he was at and talked to them about the findings and, kind of where we were at and stuff. So that took a little bit longer yesterday. So then we're just kind of waiting on a few things, waiting to hear, go consult with a surgeon to do the port. That actually may be more important now than it would be any other time, because with the midline catheter in, it's kind of hanging there on his arm. He can't lift anything. It bothers him, like he can't really move his shoulder and stuff because it's like inserted pretty far in there, and it makes him really susceptible to like getting infections and stuff. So it may actually be a better option going forward, because it'll just make things easier. However, he doesn't have that yet. When we went today to the infectious disease doctor, which is the ones that are giving him the antibiotics that we take home, they wanted a CT scan. There was a whole incident with that. They sent us not to the hospital to do the CT scan, but to a different company that was on the hospital grounds, but it was like a private company that I've never even heard of before. So we go in there and they like rush us to go in. We had been waiting for them to give us the medication to take home because we didn't want to have to drive an hour to the hospital to go pick it up again. So we were waiting, and they come in and they're like, oh, because they drew blood and they're going to do blood cultures and stuff, because the home health people are crap and they didn't do that. So we were waiting, and they're like, oh, we were able to get you in today to do this CT scan here on, here just across the street. Which, by the way, not across the street. We were just going to walk there, but then we looked at GPS and it was like 3 blocks away, which probably wouldn't be bad if it wasn't 95 degrees and my husband wasn't, very ill and not able to walk that far. So we had to get the car out of valet, had to wait for them to bring it. Then we had to go find where this place was, which was not across the street. Then we had to wait there, park the car in the parking garage, and fill out a bunch of paperwork. I went on and let him go back because for like CTs and stuff, they don't let family go back. You just have to wait in the waiting room. So I was like I was trying to talk to home health, waiting on a call from the infectious diseases about getting his medication. And I did not have very good cell service inside the suite, even though it was like the first floor. So I went out into the lobby and I was sitting there just kind of waiting to, phone calls and stuff like that. And waiting. Most of the time, CT scans take like maybe 30 minutes, even with contrast. They don't take that long. So then they call looking for me. They're like, Miss Jenkins. And I'm like, yeah, I'm over here. And they're like, okay, well, number one, why was it texting coming off? And two, why was she calling me back? So immediately I was like, oh, there's an issue. What's going on? I said, what's wrong with my husband? And she's like, oh, we need to bring you back here and we need to have a conversation. We need to have we need to go back into this room and have a consultation. And why is this a thing? And she wouldn't tell me anything. I get back there. My husband is ticked off. I mean, he is mad. And if you know my husband, number one, he doesn't get mad that often. And two, for him to be mad back there really was frustrating. So I looked at him. I'm like, what's wrong? What happened? He goes, oh, just wait. And I'm like, okay. So I turn around. All of a sudden, here comes the tech along with a radiologist. And I'm like, what the heck? So then I'm waiting, and he's like, oh, who are you? Because my husband's older, so automatically they assume daughter and not wife. By the way, 20 years married. So it always makes me laugh when they assume I'm the daughter because we've been married 20 years. And then it also makes me mad because I just look at him and I go, I have medical power of attorney, so what is it that you need? And he's like, oh, well, we saw some concerning stuff on his CT scan. And I'm like, oh, really? Like what? Well, we saw this thing on there, and I'm like, oh, the giant lesion that's 11 by 14 that's been on there for a month and hasn't shrunk. And he's like, well, yeah. And he goes, but we also saw blah. And I'm like, oh, you mean the stage 3 cancer that he also has, that has a piece in there? Well, yeah, but we were concerned about, I said, what, that it was extending into his heart, that was the cancer as well. And he just looked at me, he's like, man, you're well informed. I'm like, you think? And my husband's like, I told y'all 15 minutes ago to go get my wife. Well, apparently he had been asking for me all this time, and they had refused to go and get me until he got to the point where he was about ready to yell. Then they finally come and got me. I told him, I said, from now on, say medical power of attorney, wife. I said, and then don't say anything else, because basically that just means that I have the option to be wife. He's like, well, we need y'all to go to the ER. And I'm like, no, we're not. He's like, concerned. And I'm like, what you're concerned about is being seen over by multiple doctors. That is not something to worry about. And he's like, okay, well, I've told you I'm not going to say anything else. I'm like, okay, fine, let's go. And so we left. He handed me the CD with the CT scan on it, and we went back over to the infectious disease doctor. And I told my husband to wait in the car because he had to go in, and I didn't really want to valet park again. So I was like, well, I'm just going to go up and get the meds really fast. So why don't you just drive the car around the block for a minute, and then when I get ready, I'll call you. And he's like, okay. So I go in, I go up to the, where their office is, and I go in there and I hand them the CD, and I'm like, do y'all have his meds? We were waiting on those, and they get me his meds, and they're like, well, didn't they give you the report with this? And I'm like, nope. I said, instead, they told me we needed to go to the ER right now. And she's like, what? So then I had to explain it to the receptionist. And the receptionist got the PA who had seen my husband to start with, who had ordered it, and I had to go through it all over again. And then I was just sitting there waiting, and they were calling, trying to get the report, trying to get them to talk to somebody. I was just sitting there waiting. And I'm like, well, I was waiting for the case manager to tell me, so I could tell her about the home health center. But I tired of waiting because it was already by this point almost 5 o'clock on a Friday, and we were on a good day an hour away from home. So I was like, man, we're going to hit rush hour traffic. We need to go. I was like, so do you have a piece of paper? And I wrote down all the information for the case manager. And I'm like, can you give this to the case manager? And they're like, yeah, okay. And I said, okay, I'm going to go. If y'all need me, just call me. And she's like, okay. So we get in the car. I get my husband back over in the passenger seat, put his meds in the back because it's like 2 giant bags, by the way. And then we drive. We're not 10 minutes from the hospital when we get a call from the PA. And he's like, okay, I talked to them, and they looked at it, and this is why they're concerned. They think it's a blood clot in his heart. And I'm like, no. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, no, it's not. I said, that's what they thought it was a week ago. That's why they did a CT with contrast. That's why they did an echo. That's why they did the sonogram. They did all the things and ruled out a blood clot. And he's like, but this is what they saw. And I'm like, if he had a blood clot, he would be in incredible pain, whether it's in his lungs or in his heart. He would also be short of breath and he would have symptoms. I said, he doesn't have any of that. I said, so no, he doesn't have a blood clot in his heart. Oh, but wait, I said, did you compare the CT scan that they just took to the one they took a week ago? Well, no, I didn't look at it. And I'm like, well, if you can look at it and tell me that it is different and something has changed, then I will agree to take him to the hospital. I said, otherwise, we're going back to the hospital. And he's like, he argued with me for like probably 10 minutes on the phone while I'm driving. And I'm like, no, we're not doing this. We're not taking him to the hospital. He doesn't have a blood clot. This is ridiculous. And I sat and argued with him. I finally told him, I'm like, when you're done and y'all look at this, send it to his oncologist. And if she looks at it and tells me it's an issue, then we'll take him to the hospital. Until then, we're not going. He's like, well, I'll make you go. And I'm like, no, you can't. And this is a non-issue. So he hung up and he's like, well, if I need anything else, I'll just call you. So I called my sister-in-law, God love her, and she's in the medical profession. So I was like, okay, am I crazy or was I justified getting so upset about this? And she's like, they're being ridiculous. And I'm like, okay, I feel better now. Somebody to, see my point of view and see that this was just so ridiculous and completely overreacting. So, and she's like, yeah, I would have said the same thing. And I'm like, okay. And then my husband tells me that while he was there, they also took blood from him at the radiologist, which was weird because they had just took blood from him at the infectious disease doctor. And I'm like, what do you mean? You mean they didn't just put contrast? He goes, no, she took blood and the contrast. And I'm like, okay, that doesn't make any sense. So I never figured out what the blood was for. They never told me. They never asked. They just did it. The infectious disease physician's assistant called me back right as we were getting ready to be home. So this was close to an hour later because it took us about an hour to get home. And he called me back and he goes, okay, the radiologist finished their report and they finished reviewing everything and they agree with you that it's not a blood clot. And I'm like, you think? What I told you an hour ago. I said, because otherwise we would have been sitting in an ER for absolutely no reason. And so I was not upset with this whole thing until, that happened at the very end. It's just like, this is ridiculous. Like, we went up for a regular appointment and it turned into this whole thing. Because his appointment was like 1 PM, and this is like 5 o'clock at this point. Almost 6, because we had to rush home to give him his infusion. We had to take one of the medicines that they had just given us because they had to be at room temperature for him to take them. So we had to set it out for a little bit so that it could get to room temperature. And the one in the fridge would have been way too cold. It would have took way too long. And we try to give it to him between 6 and 7 in the morning and at night because it has to be 12 hours apart. So we barely made it home in time to do his infusion. We did the infusion and then we went out to eat, which we haven't done in a very long time. We waited for our daughter to get off work. She got off work at 7. So we went out to eat, which started off good until a large group of people with a screaming kid sat down next to us, and the kid then proceeded to scream in the restaurant, tiny restaurant, by the way, for the next 20 minutes straight with nobody doing anything. And this kid was literally sitting right next to us. And my husband, by this point, was shaking. His head was hurting. He had taken something for it, but I mean, his hands were physically shaking. And I looked at him and I'm like, are you okay? And he's like, my head's hurting. I said, how about we take this home, get to go boxes, and we take this home and we can finish it later. I said, because I'm okay with that. And he's like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Why don't you go sit in the car where it's quiet and I will get our stuff and pay the bill and do all the things." And he's like, "Okay, thanks." So I went on and we got everything boxed up. Me and Rihanna had half of our dinner left. We both got club sandwiches, and my husband got chicken fried steak. He loves chicken fried steak, by the way. And he got this gigantic, I swear, I'm not kidding, it was that big. And then he got a double helping of mashed potatoes. And I don't know if it was just because his head was hurting or something, but he said he wasn't overly happy with it, but he said the steak was really good. So I was pretty impressed by that. They had a huge breakfast menu, so maybe we'll go back and eat breakfast. Maybe that'll be a better thing for us to see. So in the next week, so this is apparently turned into my daily confessional for my husband. Apparently started off being about our business, but our business stuff is kind of set to the side right now. We are still doing stuff for it, but I think I'm gonna have to get over there and start gluing stuff, because he did a few things but he hasn't done a lot. So I think I'm just gonna have to get over there and maybe work on that in a few minutes. Our internet's out right now, so there's an outage here. It went out around 3 p.m. or no, it went out before we left to go to the doctor, so that was about noon. It's been out ever since then, so they're trying to fix it. I don't know what they did, but they are doing that now. So when I get everything done, I will show you guys, but right now I don't have anything new. I don't have anything completed to show you, because I think all he did was the big ones. I did put together a flip book with a spiral binding for a friend of mine. It was our our monthly calendars with weekly calendar inserts. So each one had however many weeks was in each month. It had that many sheets for the weekly planners. So it was monthly and weekly, and you could flip it over like a calendar rather than tearing them off. So that may be a new thing that I'm offering. I need to do a better mock-up for it, because the one that I did, I've got to get bigger binders for it, because the ones I have are the small ones that came with my binding machine, and those are not big enough for this because it's got so many pages in it. So I'm going to probably do that, and I'll probably offer that for all of our different big planners. I don't think I'll offer that for any of the smaller ones. Maybe the weekly and the monthly planners I will, but I don't think I'll do anything for anything smaller than that. So we'll see. That'll be a different variety of things that we can do. It's a little challenging. I've only done it one complete one so far. So we'll go from there. Next week's going to be interesting. He's got an appointment with his regular doctor. He's got an appointment with a pulmonologist on Thursday. We've got another week to give him. So next week I start doing school stuff. I've got to go Monday and help out with new hires and do a tour for them. I've got to Sunday, I'm going to try to take my wooden cabinet that my husband made for me. I've got to put wheels on that so that it's easier to move. I'm going to take that and put it back in my classroom. I picked up my classroom keys on a couple of days ago, yesterday, I think. And now I've got my parking placard and my keys, so I can go and work on my classroom, because that's one of my happy things, is when I can, see it all in there. I do not like the white walls. That drives me crazy. So get all my stuff hung up. I'm going to do the walls a little bit different this year than I have been doing them, just because I'm integrating some new stuff. So I may actually do a new classroom setup as well. I'm going to see if I can move my desk to the back of the room, because I think that'll be a little bit better. That'll enable me to see the classroom better. I don't know. I'm going to have to see if that'll work with IT and stuff, because they may have to give me longer cords, because the plug for the wall is where my desk is right now. which when you walk in the room, that's literally in the corner across. So I'm wanting to move it from that corner to this corner over here. So when you kind of the furthest corner away from the door. So I'm going to have to see. I know you can do that because I saw another teacher do it. I just got to figure out how to do that with like computer cords and stuff like that. And then they've got this stupid microphone thing that they want us to use that has to be also plugged up to stuff. So I'm just going to have to see. I'll have a full week before we even go back for training to work on it. And my room doesn't take that long to do, to be perfectly honest. Like I said, I'm going to do it a little bit different than what I did the last 2 years. Like one of the walls will probably be very similar, but we're going to use the Case Method Institute's, some of the cases from that this year. And that is, if you're interested in it, look it up. It's amazing. I went to the in-person training in Boston just a few weeks ago, and it was amazing. I got to learn from the guy that basically built the program. He was there. He taught us how to do it. We worked out a couple of cases right then, just showing us what it looked like. Amazing. I can't wait. So the way they do it is Harvard has, if you've ever seen any of the movies that has Harvard, it's through the Harvard Business School. However, we weren't in the actual business school. We were in kind of like like a presentation hall or whatever. We had a lecture hall where he normally teaches at. It has 3 chalkboards or 3 whiteboards, and then each of those 3 whiteboards has 3 additional boards. Like you can raise it up and you can raise it up. So there's like 9 total boards that they have access to use. And a lot of the information that he's given us teaching wise is what to put up on those boards to help move the conversation along. So you have to have, you can do it probably with 1, but it would be easier to do 3. So what I'm going to do is, in order to be able to facilitate that, I am going to use those big Post-it things that you can put up on the board, and I'm going to do it for each class, and I'm going to do 3. And what I'll do is I'll have a section on the wall I have 6 total content classes. So I'm going to do like first period, here's your section, second period, third, so on and so forth around the room. And I'm going to have it to where I'm able to put all 3 of those things for each board on there. That way I'm able to, because I'm going to do it in a 2 to 3 day lecture. So it'll be like day 1, they will be talking in groups. Day 2, we're going to talk as a whole class and go through it. And then day 3, it's going to be like a wrapping it up. This is what actually happened. What are your thoughts? How does this connect to what we've learned? All those things. So to start with, I'm going to do that. Now, as we go into the spring semester, we probably won't need 3 days to do that. We'll probably just need like 2 days because they'll get faster once they learn how to do it. So we may be able to cut that down to just 2 days and be able to do something different on a 3rd day, or I may keep it at 3 days. Spring semester is a little bit tighter because we have STAR testing still in Texas. I think this is the last year for STAR testing, and then they're going to move to the 3 tests a year. Don't even get me started. Parents are like, oh, it's so much better. It's only 3 tests. Well, yeah, it's 3 tests in 5 subjects. So that's not 1 test that you have to take for 5 subjects. Now you're having to take 3 tests for each of those 5 subjects. Whoever thought that was a better idea is an idiot, because they obviously don't teach. 3 tests is not better than 1, because the state is still going to want complete control over everything, because that's what they do. I'm a little salty about that. And then also Texas has completely screwed everything up with their redoing of tests. They're doing it chronologically for history, meaning kindergartners will learn about dinosaurs then they will go forward from there. So right now, it's more like thematic. It's not necessarily chronological by grade. It's more thematic. They're talking about, by the time they get to 7th grade, then they're doing Texas history in 8th grade, but they've kind of been doing Texas history all along. And then by the time they get to U.S. history in high school, that's both 8th grade U.S. history that they take now, which is the beginning of the United States, or, from occupation of Columbus all the way through the Reconstruction. And then the high school U.S. history is it says Reconstruction, but it's like Gilded Age, which is right after that, all the way through modern U.S., all the way through Obamacare right now. So in dual credit, we actually already teach both of those together. The early part we teach in the fall, and the other part we teach in the spring. So it's basically twice as fast as normal high school kids take it, in order to, it's 2 separate classes in college. So they take the first class in the fall and then the second class in the spring, because it's very much a repetition of what they've already learned. That's one of the reasons they get credit for it, both in high school and college, because it's kind of the same class, but there's higher rigor and a lot more emphasis on primary sources for the dual credit class. But they still have to take STAR, and they still have to do the same thing the on-level classes do, so it's still a lot. I don't think new techs are supposed to start until 2030, so another 3 years. It'll take them that long to figure everything out. And that does include all the biblical references that they have also added in there. So I'm not going to expand on my opinions on that. Thank goodness I don't teach government. I would have too many opinions. For U.S. history, they've already tried to remove a lot of stuff from it. And my kids were so funny. In the fall, I asked them, because they were just talking about how they were, trying to restrict what is being taught in history classes. And one of the things they're trying to restrict is talking about race and gender in history classes. And I told them, I was like, by this point, it was almost Christmas. I was like, so what are y'all thinking about that? How do we teach this class that you just took without talking about race and gender? And they're like, that's the entire class. And I'm like, So how do you do that without including that? They're like, you can't not include that. I was like, you're absolutely right. I mean, that's basically our entire history up until, so it's very amusing. I like to get my kids to kind of think outside the box and think about current events and what's happening, and make connections back. A lot of the things we learn about starting, especially during civil rights, are things that are being repealed now, things that are being overturned or taken back. And I like to say, okay, this is what happened. This is when we implemented it. What about now we're taking that away? What does that look like? Why are we doing that? Who's that going to affect? So that's very interesting to get all of those opinions in there. So this is, completely turned into something I did not anticipate it turning into. So I'm Misty with Autumn Mist, and apparently this is my random blog. I guess it's turned into a little of everything, more than my stationery business. So if you're watching this and you enjoy it, please, hit like and share and follow and all the things. I don't get paid for any of this, but maybe at some point it might pay for itself. I don't know. I have no idea how much that stuff is, but I just enjoy getting this out there, I guess, telling my story about the journey with my husband and, what that looks like with our family, because it is challenging. We have a 21-year-old daughter. He has other children, but they are all much older than my daughter. She's the youngest. I think there's one that's close in age to her. I want to say within 5 to 10 years her age. One of his daughters is a few years younger than me. We actually met her for a while, and her kids, they lived with us for a little while they had some family issues, and we all lived together. She has kids that are right around my daughter's age. Actually, I think there was one that was older and one that was younger, and then she also had 2 boys later after her and her husband got back together. So there are his other kids out there. He doesn't really have contact with any of them. He wasn't really a great dad to them. He did stay, and he has raised our daughter with me the entire time. He's been here. I like to say it took him 20 years of doing the wrong thing to figure, for him to finally decide to do the one right thing and stay. And, he had to be bad for a long time before he could figure out all the, before he could find me and we could build family. So anyway, that's us. I will try to get back into posting daily. Just hopefully shorter videos. I will probably glue some stuff tonight, so maybe I can show you some of the completed products. Once I get them done, I will see how much I can glue tonight. And I still got to make the stickers and the magnetic bookmarks as well. So maybe I'll do that tomorrow. Oh, my face is breaking out. Sorry about that. Stress, I guess. Anyways, plus it's like miserable here in Texas. Literally earlier this week, it was 105 outside, and that was the real temperature. That was not even the heat index. It's currently 87.9 degrees under my covered driveway outside, and it is 9:30 at night. So it's still miserably hot here. And that's not even the humidity. So pray for us in Texas, because holy cow, it's not even over yet. It's just the hottest part of the year. All right, I will try to post some tomorrow and try not to blow it up with probably a 45-minute talk. I have no idea how long I've been talking here, but I will do it. If you have questions, please reach out to me. I am happy to talk to you. I do post this on my Facebook page so that everybody can see it. I also post it on my business page. So we will just keep checking on and trying to move forward. Hopefully this does not, hopefully this helps someone. I know it's not always happy, joy, but it's our story and it's our truth, so that's all I got to say. I am what I am, and I don't apologize for that. So if you have questions, if you want to support us, if you don't, that's okay. We do not ask for any kind of monetary payment. If family is watching, that is not something that we are currently asking or expecting by any means. We don't have a GoFundMe. We're working within our means right now, and if something changes, we'll reach out to you guys and let you know. But right now, that's not really a thing. I work full time. My daughter works almost full time. We just got my husband's Social Security approved finally. That was a whole thing. Maybe I'll talk about that tomorrow. But we just got that today, like literally yesterday, and we got the money for it, I think, today. So we're making it. It's just figuring out new ways of dealing with stuff. So anyways, I'm going to let you guys go. I will see you tomorrow. Have a great night, and thank you for watching.